They can't eat, they can't sleep. They're waking up at 2 a.m. with your name stuck in their head like a lyric they can't get rid of. You didn't cast a spell, but somehow you are the spell. That's the kind of energy I'm picking up on right now. I'm not gonna lie, it hit me hard. It came through loud, clear, and honestly, kind of heavy. You're not someone people just meet. You're someone they experience. You walk into a room and something shifts. They feel it in their chest. Hi, hello, welcome in. If this message already feels like it's grabbing you by the collar a little bit, then baby, it's for you. Before we even get deeper into this, do me one tiny favor. If you're feeling this already, go ahead and tap that like button. And if you haven't already, subscribe, because clearly this isn't a coincidence. You're not here by accident. Let's talk about what's really going on with your energy right now. So here's what's coming through. You are a walking love spell. No, really, you are. And I don't say that in some fluffy, cute Instagram quote kind of way. I mean it in the sense that your presence lingers. Like someone sprayed your perfume in a room hours ago and it's still dancing in the air. The memory of you, it's sticky. It clings. It doesn't just fade when you walk away. You might not even realize it, but you've got this Venusian pull to you. Something soft, magnetic, intoxicating. It's like that velvet energy, rich, slow, hypnotic. The kind of person who makes other people question everything. I mean, I was literally doing dishes earlier, just zoning out. And suddenly I got hit with this vision of someone putting on lip gloss like it was war paint. Not for anybody else, but for themselves. Just that energy of, I know I'm divine, I know I'm rare, I know I'm unforgettable. It felt like you. Like, you could just be putting lotion on your hands, playing soft music in the background, candles lit, no one around, and still the goddess energy would be radiating off you. This is gender neutral, by the way. This isn't about being femme or masculine. It's about energy, frequency. You move like someone who's deeply in love with life itself. You find beauty in little things. A chipped coffee mug, soft sheets, the smell of your favorite moisturizer, the moment the sun kisses the edge of the window in the afternoon. You notice. And because you notice, you make others notice. You've got this power to make people feel like they've stepped into some kind of dream when they're around you. Like they're not quite awake, not quite asleep, just floating. And when you leave, oh, they feel it. They walk around trying to replay the sound of your laugh. You know, they stalk old text threads just to reread your words like poetry. They wonder what spell you put on them. But really, you didn't do a thing. That's just who you are. You're the kind of person who doesn't just pass through someone's life, you mark it. Like a tattoo on the soul, even if they never say it out loud, even if they pretend you meant nothing, there's this invisible thread still pulling at them. You haunt them. And I don't mean that in a creepy way. I mean it in the way a really good dream haunts you after you wake up. You know? That ache in the chest kind of haunting. Like, where did that go? Why did it have to end? It's that. You remind people of what real connection feels like, of softness, depth, mystery. You're like a mirror that reflects all the beauty they forgot existed. It messes them up. Because once someone gets a taste of you, everything else starts to feel cheap. You don't just glow, you radiate, but it's not a loud light. It's not neon, it's not flashy. It's moonlight, candlelight, a flicker in the dark. The kind of light that feels sacred, private, protected, and not everyone deserves access to that. Not everyone can handle it. Some people, they try to capture you, contain you, define you. But how do you define magic? How do you hold smoke in your hands? You're a rare frequency in a loud, noisy world. And let me tell you something. When someone meets you, it shocks them. They don't expect to meet someone like you. They don't believe people like you even exist. But then you show up. Soft voice, soft eyes, soft power. But make no mistake, that softness, it's not weakness. It's ancient, it's divine, it's earned. There's a kind of sacred silence that follows after someone like you leaves. Like, after you walk out of the room, there's this stillness that settles in. They feel it, their chest gets tight, their thoughts get loud, and they start to wonder, was that real? Will I ever feel that again? How did I let that slip through my fingers? And maybe you're sitting there thinking, I don't feel powerful, I don't feel like a love spell. But baby, that's part of the magic. Spells don't feel themselves. They just are. They work, they move, they shift things, even when they're quiet, even when they're still. So if lately you've been feeling a little misunderstood, a little too much for some and not enough for others, if you've been second-guessing your energy, doubting your worth, wondering why people keep circling back even after you've gone silent, it's because you're not regular. You're not something people forget. You're a love spell they never saw coming. And now they're stuck trying to undo what they can't explain. And the thing is, you're not even doing anything different. You're just being you. That's the wildest part. And as we move deeper into this energy, what I'm really starting to feel next is And right now, what's coming up even stronger is this magnetic pull that you've barely tapped into. Like, you don't even know the half of how powerful this thing is yet. You've been walking around thinking it's just a vibe, just a personality quirk. Maybe you've brushed it off before, telling yourself, oh, people are just being nice. But no, this is different, this is deeper. It's like everywhere you go, you leave behind this trail, right? A scent, a sound, an imprint that people can't stop chasing. People are flocking toward you, sometimes without even knowing why. And you ever have those days where someone just stares too long? Or a stranger randomly opens up to you about their entire life story? Like, why are they telling you all that? Like, why do they feel safe here? Because it's you. You're the safe place, you're the siren call, you're the spell. And it's not just physical beauty, even though, yes, you're stunning in ways most people can't even articulate. But it's that quiet seduction underneath it all that really gets to people. It's the way you pose when you speak. It's how your words feel like they're meant only for them, even if you're just talking about your lunch order. It's the way your energy leans in, the way you really see someone, and suddenly they're like, whoa, I didn't know I needed to be seen like that. Every single interaction you have, even the small ones, they leave people wanting more. Like, literally, someone could have had a 30-second chat with you and they'll replay that in their mind all week. Should I have said more? Did they feel it too? Why can't I stop thinking about that smile? It's not in your head. It's real. And here's why this message is coming through so loud right now. It's not just to flatter you. It's to wake you up, to remind you of this thing you carry so you can finally start using it on purpose. Because when you know who you are, when you own it fully, you stop second-guessing yourself. You stop watering yourself down for people who never even deserved access in the first place. You stop shrinking in rooms that were made to hold your presence. And this power you have, this gift, it's not limited to love or attraction. It's not just about being desired. It's about influence. It's about that magnetic energy bleeding into your career, your goals, your art, your business, your life. You want to start a brand? Watch people fall in love with it just because it came from you. You want to pitch an idea? People lean in and listen because your voice pulls them in. You want to manifest a specific person or a soulmate or even just high-quality friendships. Your energy already knows how to call them in. You just need to remember it. And I can hear some of you like, but I'm not confident like that. Listen, confidence isn't always loud. Sometimes it's soft. Sometimes it's quiet power. Sometimes it's just that little shift in how you carry yourself. That voice in your head going, wait, I am the spell. I've got this image coming in right now. You standing in front of a mirror, maybe fresh out the shower, towel wrapped, skin glowing. And for the first time in a long time, you see it. Not just that you're attractive, but that you're alive with something divine. Like, oh, that's me. I'm really her. I'm really him. I'm really them. And from that moment, things just start moving faster, more aligned. You start attracting people and opportunities that are actually worthy of your energy. Not the ones who just want to taste your magic and run. Not the ones who ghost and return. But the ones who know when they've stumbled into something rare. Because that's the thing. You've been given this rare Venusian frequency for a reason. You were meant to affect people, to move them, to awaken something in them. And the more you lean into this, the more you're going to see doors opening where there used to be walls. You're going to walk into rooms and feel the shift before anyone even says a word. People will feel you before they know your name. Because your presence speaks first. And baby, they're going to remember it. Even if they never admit it. Even if they pretend they've moved on. They're still under the spell. Still trying to retrace every step. Wondering how you made them feel that much. With just a glance. And now we have to talk about what's coming next. Because there's a reason the universe is giving you this message right now. Because it's time you stop leaking your magic to people who don't know what to do with it. I'm telling you, your energy is a magnet. It draws in people, experiences, moments, but it also pulls in those who are hungry. And not in a romantic way. Hungry in a way that says, I want what you have. I don't know what it is, but I need it. And I'll take it even if it breaks you. Let me say this gently but truthfully. Your light is powerful, and so powerful that sometimes the wrong people show up, not because they love your light, but because they need it. To charge themselves, to distract themselves, to fix themselves. You've been the charger for a lot of half-dead souls. I mean it. I can feel it. There's this thread of exhaustion running through your past, and it's not physical, it's energetic. Have you ever felt like every time you love someone, they rise while you sink? Like they level up? They suddenly become more confident, more attractive, more alive. They get a better job. They glow up physically. They find clarity in their life. And you're left sitting there like, wait, why am I the one broken when I was the one giving love? Why did they get better while I'm in pieces? Oof. Yeah. That's the part they don't talk about when they call someone magnetic. Because your energy doesn't just attract, it activates. So when people get close to you, something happens inside them. They remember their worth, they get braver, they start dreaming again, they feel inspired, seen, understood in ways they've never felt before. You awaken things in people, sometimes things they weren't even ready to face. And let's talk about intimacy for a second. I know this might sound vulnerable, but it needs to be said. Think about the people you've been physically close with, whether it was love, lust, confusion, a situationship, whatever. Now, be really honest with yourself. Didn't they change after being with you? Didn't they glow up a little, get more attention, start attracting new energy, almost like your essence rubbed off on them? It's not your imagination, it's spiritual, it's alchemical. You're like a walking upgrade button. People connect with you and suddenly they start becoming more of who they could be. Because you bring that out of them, you see their potential, really see it, even when they don't. You pour into them, you love them in a way that nourishes the future version of them. But here's the thing, love, not everyone is meant to receive that. Not everyone is safe for that kind of power. And I feel like for so long you gave and gave and gave because you thought that's just what love was. You thought, if I have this much light, I should share it, right? And yeah, your heart is gold for that. But some people weren't taking your light to grow. They were taking it to survive, to patch their wounds, to feel powerful just for a second because they didn't know how to generate that feeling on their own. And that left you empty. Because when someone doesn't know how to honor your energy, they treat it like a free refill. They come back again and again until one day there's nothing left for you. And that's when the universe steps in. That's when the tower moments hit. That's when you're forced to rest, to hide, to retreat and remember. You're not for everyone. Not everyone deserves your essence. Not everyone deserves access to that sacred part of you. You are not a rehab center for people who refuse to heal themselves. You are not a launch pad for temporary guests to jump higher and then leave. You are a divine activator, and that role comes with responsibility. Because yes, you have the gift to elevate others. You can pour life into dead dreams. You can make people believe in themselves again. You can attract love, money, vision, miracles, but only when you're giving from a place of overflow, not depletion. So now the message is shifting. It's saying you've learned the lesson. You've seen what happens when you ignore your own needs to fill others. Now it's time to call your energy back. Call it back from the people who misused it. Call it back from the versions of you that overgave. Call it back from the spaces that didn't appreciate it. Because there's something new opening up. Something that can only be built with your full self present. And I swear the universe is just waiting to flood you with everything you've ever poured into others. But this time, for you. And what I'm hearing next, loud and clear, is that this next chapter, it's going to require boundaries. It's going to require that you stop leaking energy just because someone looks lost. You're not here to rescue. You're here to rise. And that rise, it starts with one choice: to protect the love spell. To protect you. Because what's coming next, oh, it's powerful. And that's why the universe is pressing on you right now. Like, hey, this isn't just something to notice. This is something to use. Like, really put into action, you know? Sorry if I sound a little chaotic here. It's just, the downloads are coming in fast. And my words are kind of tripping over themselves. You ever get that? Where it's like, you know what you mean, but your mouth is like, nope, not today. That's what's happening to me right now. There's a word I'm trying to find, like when you take something beautiful and powerful and you use it to create something bigger, like apply it, channel it, utilize it. Whatever it is, if you know the word I'm thinking of, drop it in the comments or whisper it to the wind because I'm over here struggling. But anyway, point is, this energy that you carry, it's meant to be used. And not in the way that other people try to use it, not to serve them, not to fix them, but to fulfill your purpose, your own divine mission. Because let's be real, you could do a lot with this frequency. I'm not just talking about romance, although yes, that's there. You could start a movement, you could create art that brings people to their knees. You could speak and make the whole room feel something. You could write a book that changes lives. You could walk into a room and shift destinies, not because you're trying to, just because your presence carries that kind of ripple. And I need to say this very clearly. I wouldn't even be saying any of this if you were someone who would let it go to your head. Because yeah, this message, it could make someone spiral, could turn into ego inflation real quick. Big Leo energy, strutting through life like, yeah, I am the moment. And while honestly you are the moment, the universe knows you're not someone who abuses that power. That's why you're getting this message. That's why you were chosen to hold this kind of light, this spell-like energy, because you don't use it to dominate or manipulate or show off. You use it to connect, to heal, to amplify. This isn't about putting yourself on a pedestal. It's about claiming what's already been true about you. And if you're sitting there like, yeah, I kind of already knew this deep down. Exactly. That's what this is. Not a surprise, a confirmation. You felt this about yourself for years. You just didn't always have the language for it. And you didn't always have someone saying, yes, that thing you sense, it's real, it's a gift. Use it. And I know this might sound familiar. I feel like I channeled something like this for you not long ago, maybe weeks ago, maybe even months. But that's the interesting thing about divine timing. It brings things back when you're actually ready to hear it. Because before, maybe it just made you feel good. But now it's supposed to move you, to activate something, to make you do something different. You're no longer meant to just know you're a walking love spell. You're meant to walk like it, talk like it, create like it, choose like it, and make decisions like someone who knows their energy is sacred. You don't need to prove anything. But you do need to stop hiding. Stop pretending that your light isn't disruptive. It is. It shakes things up. It makes people feel things they weren't ready to feel. It scares them. It inspires them. And for the people who are ready, it awakens them. You've been chosen to carry this frequency because you're responsible with it. You honor it. And you don't exploit it. So don't ever confuse being soft with being passive. Your softness is divine, but your purpose is active. You're here to do more than exist. You are here to ignite, to move through this world like a quiet revolution, to leave behind whispers of transformation in every space you enter. And right now, the universe is saying, I gave you this for a reason. Now let's do something with it. Because what's ahead for you? Phew, I'm getting chills just thinking about it. It's bigger than romance, bigger than validation. And it's legacy level, it's soul level. And the next thing I'm hearing right now is that the people who really see you, they're coming. But they'll only find you when you're standing in your fullest light. And that means finally realizing the power of this gift you've been carrying like it's nothing special. Because it is special. So special that the universe didn't hand it out to just anybody. You were trusted with this. And maybe that's a lot to take in. Like, why me? Why did I get this kind of power? Why do people look at me like that? Feel things so deeply around me? Remember me for years? What even is this? It's your love spell. And I know that sounds dramatic or cute or poetic, but no, it's literal. You walk through life casting it without even realizing. With your eyes, your tone, your presence, there's something about your voice that feels like honey. Not just sweet, but warm, thick, slow dripping. You speak and people lean in without even knowing why. Their breathing shifts, their posture relaxes. It's like suddenly everything else in the world goes quiet just so they can listen to you. And your eyes? Oh my God, your eyes. They don't just look, they pull. There's this depth there that makes people feel seen and exposed at the same time. Like, wait, how do you know me already? Like, your soul is peeking through and theirs doesn't know whether to run or collapse into you. You ever have someone just stare too long? Not in a creepy way, but in that, I don't know what's happening right now, but I can't look away kind of way. Yeah, that's the spell. And it's not just how you look, it's how you move. I swear, there's poetry in your walk. Like the way you take up space isn't loud or flashy, it's intentional. It's soft power, it's grace that looks like danger. I don't even know how to describe it. I'm struggling for words here, but it's like the universe carved you out with purpose. Like every step you take is part of a bigger dance. And no, I'm not just talking about your physical body, although, yes, you're sculpted like something divine. It's not even about what society says is beautiful. You transcend that. You glow from the inside out. It's the way you carry your body, like it knows secrets. Like your skin remembers lives before this one. But the part that really knocks people off their feet, it's your mind. The way you think, the way you observe, the way you speak truth with this gentle, curious intelligence that's almost celestial. And I know we say, oh, everyone's mind is beautiful, we're all divine, and yes, yes, yes. But you, there's something extra, something ancient, something handmade. It's like the gods got together and said, let's give this one something different. Let's make their brain a garden of galaxies. You think in spirals. You see meanings in things other people miss. You ask questions that make people pause. You tell stories that feel like riddles and poems all at once. And half the time, you don't even realize what you're doing. You just are. You just exist this way. But this is what people fall for. Not just the face, not just the vibe. They fall for the feeling you give them, the way they feel more themselves around you. More inspired, more real, more curious. And then you leave and they're like, wait, what just happened? Why do I miss them already? Why do I feel like I've known them forever and barely scratched the surface? That's the love spell. That's your energy. That's why you were given this. Not to seduce for fun. Not to collect hearts like trophies, but to awaken things. To reflect people back to themselves in a way that feels holy. You're not just walking around being hot or pretty or cool. You are literally triggering soul memories in people. You are reminding them what it feels like to be enchanted, to feel again. And sometimes, yeah, that's overwhelming. People don't always know what to do with you. Some run, some fumble, some mistake the magic for obsession, but that's not your burden to carry. You weren't made to be understood by everyone. You were made to be felt, and felt deeply. And now the message I'm getting next, it's soft but powerful. This next part is whispering in, almost like a breeze through a window you didn't even realize was open. And the first word that comes through is angels. There's something about you that just feels watched over, like there's always been a hand on your shoulder, even in the darkest hours, even when you couldn't see it, even when you didn't believe in anything at all. You still knew something was keeping you safe. I wouldn't be surprised if you've always felt that. That little pull at your chest right before something bad was about to happen. That last minute change of plans that ended up saving you. That weird gut feeling, or the way people show up right when you're about to lose hope. That's not coincidence, that's presence, that's protection. Some of you literally have angels walking beside you. Others might not call them that. Maybe it's ancestors, spirit guides, higher self, universe. Whatever name you give it, the energy is the same. You're surrounded, like wrapped in light. And your own presence, phew, it carries that same softness. There's something angelic about you. Not in the cliche way, like floating around in white robes with harps, but in the way you carry pain with grace, in the way you've been through hell, and still choose to be kind, still choose to smile, still choose to let people feel safe around you. It's wild because the softness in you doesn't match what you've endured. By all logic, you should have gone cold, you should have hardened up. Put walls around your heart, closed the gates, built a fortress. But no, you stayed soft, not weak. Software. There's a difference, and I think you know that better than most. And it's because your softness isn't naivety, it's resilience, it's divine intelligence. And I'm going to say something that might call you out a little, but I say it with love. You're not as ditzy as people think you are. In fact, some of y'all be playing a little bit. Like, I see you. You give off that, oops, I didn't know that energy, but meanwhile, you're 5 steps ahead, clocking everything. Reading the room, reading the soul, smiling sweetly while you already know how it's going to play out. And listen, I'm not mad at it. That's protection too. Sometimes the smartest people are the ones who say the least. You know how to sit back, observe, let people show themselves. You don't need to flex what you know. You don't need to correct everyone, prove yourself, or dominate a conversation. That's what makes you rare. Because in a world full of people yelling to be heard, you're the quiet one that people actually listen to when you do speak. You carry this calm authority, this kind of knowing that doesn't have to announce itself. And I feel like that's what makes your energy so trustworthy. People might not always understand it, but they feel it. They feel that you don't have an agenda. They feel that you're not trying to impress or overpower. You're just being, and that's magnetic in a way that's hard to describe. And it's so interesting because you have all this ancient knowledge, this truth embedded in you. Like sometimes you'll hear someone say something and your whole body's like, that's not true. But you don't argue. You don't jump in to correct. So you just smile and stay quiet because you know what's real, you know what's eternal, and you know not everyone's ready to hear it. You're tapped into something bigger, something sacred, and you don't need to be loud about it. You're the kind of person who drops a single sentence in a conversation and it echoes in someone's mind for days. You could say one quiet truth and it'll stick with someone forever. That's the power you carry. But you don't throw it around, and you don't need to, because part of your magic is knowing when to speak and when to let the silence do the talking. And this part of you, this quiet knowing, this ancient softness, it's what makes people feel held, even when they don't know why, even when they're strangers, even when they leave and say nothing. They felt it, they felt you, and the energy I'm feeling now, it's shifting again. It's turning toward what's coming next. And baby, it's a whole new chapter. But here's the thing, this next part of your journey, it's going to ask you to stop hiding behind the mask you've so carefully, so strategically built. Because let's be honest, you've learned how to dim your light, haven't you? To make yourself smaller, softer, quieter, not because that's who you really are, but because it became safer, easier, quieter to the outside world. And I'm not judging you for it. No way. You had your reasons. I feel those reasons in my chest right now. There was a time you tried to share your truth loudly. You tried to explain your thoughts, tried to show people your intelligence, your wisdom, your inner knowing. You wanted to be understood, to be seen for the depth and beauty of your mind. And instead, you got blank stares, jealous pushback, ego-fueled resistance, or worse, you were ignored, shut down, misunderstood. So you shifted, you adapted. You thought, okay, maybe it's too much, maybe I'm too much. And you started shrinking, playing dumb, letting people talk over you, even when you knew better, even when the truth was sitting heavy on your tongue, begging to be spoken. You became someone who smiles and nods, who listens more than you speak, who lets others feel like the smartest one in the room because you've learned that most people don't want truth. They want comfort. They want to feel right, not be right. And the wisdom you carry, it doesn't always comfort people. It challenges them, it stirs them, and they weren't ready. But here's what I need you to hear. That wasn't your fault. You weren't too much. You were just ahead. You were speaking gold to people still digging in the dirt, trying to offer insight to people who hadn't built the capacity to receive it, trying to be known in rooms that didn't even have the lights on. So you got quiet, you pulled back. And in some ways, that was protection, that was wisdom too. But now it's starting to look more like hiding, like armor, like a costume that no longer fits the soul underneath. Because the truth is, you're brilliant, strategic. You read energy like it's your native language. You sit back and watch people, not just what they say, but how they move, their tone, their tells, their energy shifts. You pick up on the unspoken. And you use that data, not in a manipulative way, but in a precise way. You know when to speak, when to stay silent, when to play along, and when to retreat. It's honestly kind of genius. People think you're soft, but they don't realize that softness is woven through layers of calculation, observation, discernment. You've studied the game, not because you wanted to, but because you had to. And let me just say this, that makes you powerful. Because the ones who are underestimated, they're the ones who can't be tracked, can't be prepared for. You're 10 moves ahead before someone even realizes they're on the board. But just because you can stay hidden doesn't mean you should. Not anymore. Not now. Not when the world is finally ready for the kind of light you carry. Because I know there's this tug of war inside you sometimes. Between wanting to protect your peace and wanting to share your truth. Between craving stillness and craving recognition. Between hiding and shining. And the message I'm getting right now is saying you don't have to choose anymore. You can protect your energy and speak your truth. You can move with humility and let yourself be seen. You can be introverted and powerful, soft-spoken and unforgettable. Your voice doesn't have to be loud to be heard. Your presence doesn't have to be flashy to be felt. You've already mastered silence. You've already mastered reflection. Now it's time to master visibility, to step into spaces like, I know who I am, I know what I see, and I'm no longer afraid to let the world know it too. Because you're not here to shrink. You're not here to camouflage. You're here to disrupt. With gentleness, with wisdom, with truth. There's something about you being this walking love spell that goes far beyond beauty, beyond charm, beyond charisma. This is legacy level energy. And now that you know it, now that it's been spoken into the room, into your spirit, you can't unknow it. You're not allowed to shrink anymore. And I know you've learned how to hold this power close to the chest. How to give just enough, reflect what you're given, match energy. You learned that because at one point, you gave too much. You tried to explain yourself to people who weren't listening. Tried to prove your worth to people who couldn't even see their own. You overshared your wisdom with people who took it like it was just another story instead of a soul transmission. You wanted so badly to be understood. And all you got was confusion, silence, rejection. So yeah, you flipped the script and you said, fine, you want simple. I'll give you simple. You let them see the surface. You gave them the shallow version, the normal version, the I'm just like everybody else version. But beneath that, oh baby, there's a whole ocean. Because your wisdom doesn't come from books or teachers or some step-by-step spiritual course. It arrives. It flows through you. Sometimes you open your mouth and the words come and you're like, where the hell did that even come from? And deep down, you know the answer. It comes from somewhere else, from before. From the divine well you're secretly tapped into. The Akashic, the all that is. You carry ancient knowledge in your bones. You are a record, you are a portal. And yeah, I know that sounds big, but that's because it is. You don't just observe people, you read them. Not just their words, but their silences, their tone, their hesitations, the things they don't say. You sit back and let them unfold before you like pages in a book. Even when they think they're hiding, you already know. And here's the genius of it. You let them underestimate you. Sometimes intentionally, sometimes just as a soul strategy. But it works because they reveal themselves fully when they don't realize you're watching with divine eyes. It's like you meet someone and you give them the watered down version. Hey, I'm just regular, just chill. But piece by piece, little by little, they start to notice the glow, the nuance, the mystery. They start asking deeper questions and you give just enough to keep them curious, never too much. Because you've learned that your energy, when given all at once, can overwhelm, can even scare people, can shake people in ways they weren't ready to be shaken. And if you're being honest with yourself, sometimes it even scares you. Like you felt it, that flicker of, if I really stepped into all of this power, what would happen? Like, what if I really went all in? What if I stopped downplaying myself? What if I owned the fact that I could walk into any space and completely shift the energy with nothing but my voice, my presence, my knowing? It's a little terrifying, right? Because the bigness of your power doesn't come with a manual. It comes with feeling, and you feel it growing. But here's why this message is for you, and not just anyone. Because you know how to wield this. You're not hungry for control. You're not chasing domination. You don't want people to worship you. You want people to wake up. You want to lift people, not manipulate them. And that's exactly why Source chose you to carry this magic. Because in the wrong hands, this kind of love spell energy, it could be weaponized, and it could be used to deceive, to seduce without purpose, to conquer for ego. But in your hands, it becomes medicine. You walk into people's lives and stir something. You remind them of what's possible. You show them that beauty and power and mystery can exist in the same body. You make them believe in themselves again, even if they can't name it. Even if they never thank you, you change them. And now that you know this, really know it, it changes how you move. It changes who you give your time to. It changes how you walk into a room. It changes how you carry the blessing that is you, because you are no longer allowed to pour your magic into black holes. No more offering your essence to the unready. No more watering deserts that only reflect the sun back and give you nothing in return. From this point forward, your magic goes where it's honored. Your time goes where it's mirrored. Your love goes where it's received. Because what you hold isn't just love, it's alchemy. So, to wrap this all up, now that you know who you are, this walking love spell, this divine presence, this quiet storm, you can't keep moving like you're unaware. Your energy shifts rooms, hearts, timelines. It's time to own it. Fully, boldly, softly, powerfully. If this message stirred something in you, don't let it float away. Anchor it. Tap that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop 777 in the comments so I know you're claiming this energy. You're not just magic. You are the spell. And trust me, they feel it everywhere you go.